episode number 75.
And today we have with us here a vegan fitness coach from Georgia, Brooke Sellers.
Hey guys.
Alrighty, so I guess let's just
Let's
dive
just
right
jump
in.
right into it.
All
Let's
right,
just jump
so
right into it.
the most basic question: what made you go vegan?
Yes.
Okay, so initially I watched What the Health on Netflix because I was still super into fitness. I was a trainer. I just wasn't vegan yet, and I was fascinated. I saw this like documentary on food, so I just thought, hey, I'll give it a shot. And I kind of already knew like 10 minutes in it was going to be about like cutting out meat, but I was just open-minded and I was just like, all right, I'm going to hear what they have to say and then I'm going to make my own decision. And then after watching it, I was like, what? I mean, I like literally like jaw on the floor, couldn't even believe it. And then I bought a couple books, Eating Animals and Proteinaholic.
Wow.
Those were two books that I read. And then after just doing like so much research, watching Dominion on YouTube, that one's pretty disturbing.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man.
Yeah, not for the lighthearted. I probably only made it maybe 10-15 minutes in. It was really bad. I never finished it, but after that it was just no going back. So I mean, I would say initially the health perspective is what caught my attention, but what actually like made me transition and has like kept me vegan to this day has definitely been the animals.
Oh wow. See, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
how old were you when you started to like just start to intake and question everything?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I was 21 and I'm 23 now. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, so vegan for 2 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, so 2.5 years. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
oh, I'm
my
sorry,
bad.
go. No, you can go ahead, bro.
So like you just went like after you just started, I guess, researching all this information and absorbing everything, really, you just went straight to vegan. You didn't like cut out one thing at a time, or how did that process start?
That's good.
No, I didn't. I mean, I just literally overnight, I was just like, screw this, because I felt like I'd been taken advantage of by like big pharma, by our government. I was just like, hell no, they're not going to get my money. And then not only that, but like I felt like such a hypocrite because here I am, like I believe in rescuing animals. Like we've always rescued dogs my whole life. We don't like donate money, like help out shelters. Like, I mean, we really, really believe in that. And then I felt like such a hypocrite to not like care about animals that were being slaughtered.
That is
So
so
really,
that's awesome.
it was just overnight for me. The only thing was like the education part of it, because there was like things that I didn't realize had like milk powder in them. And so, you know, that took me a little bit of time to figure out. Like graham crackers I ate forever, and then I realized, oh crap, they have milk in them. So
yeah. I hate discovering that when there's like you're looking at the back of the labels and it's like, oh, this contains milk in it.
Has milk
Everything.
in
I don't
it.
know why everything has milk in it.
Why? Yeah, but you know, something that really is amazing for you is you took the time before to educate yourself, to jump into it. And a lot of people aren't even willing to do that. They see these videos and they see what's going on and they're closed-minded to it. They're like, you know what, I'm done watching that and then I'm just going to go back to doing what I need to. But I guess from your perspective, you realize that, you know, it didn't align with whatever you were doing. So you took the time, you researched it, you got into it, and look at you now thriving. And that's really what I want a lot of people to understand. If you really take the time, educate yourself on this topic of veganism, this lifestyle, you'll realize it comes with so many positives, not only for yourself, the dogs, or animals in general.
Yeah, all kinds of
animals in general, and the planet. And that's really what it is. Like, they just need to research for themselves.
Exactly.
it's just like that cognitive dissonance, which people like don't want to be confronted with things that make them change, because change is uncomfortable. So it's like they hear this information and they know it makes them uncomfortable. Like obviously we don't want to know that cows and pigs are being tortured, but it's the truth. But so some people would rather just turn it off and not have to accept it, not have to change, and just keep going about their normal life. Like I've literally had friends, like my best friend, I was like, you have to watch this, you have to watch these documentaries, and she's like, I can't, because I won't ever eat meat again if I do. And I'm like, but that's the point. Like,
that is the point.
yeah, so it's just, I think people, they get confronted like with their own beliefs, and it's really hard for them to accept the truth. And it's more like it's easy to stay comfortable and not have to change,
Mm.
like change your whole diet, change your whole culture, like eating out, like learn a whole new lifestyle. So I think it's just kind of about being in a comfort zone, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, I definitely see that. That's so true. And I guess going vegan at 21, I mean, were you in college at the moment?
Yeah, I was.
How did your friends react to this change? Or like, what do
Oh,
they think about this sudden
yeah.
change?
I mean, my friends, yeah, I mean, they were just like, okay, like you can do it. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, my friends, yeah, I mean, they just, I mean, they love animals. They love animals with
Love
quotes,
animals. Yeah,
air
that's a good
quotes.
one.
But they still eat them. So yeah, it is like,
Mm.
I'm like, I always tell them, I'm like, I know you're a vegan in your heart. Like you are destined to be a vegan. You just haven't like had the education yet to like really push yourself there. But I will say now more and more, like I see them making small changes. So maybe they're not fully vegan, but they've cut out red meat or they've cut out fish or something. So most of my close friends have at least done that to some degree. So
Oh,
Wow,
that's a
see,
good
that's
thing because they
awesome.
are environmentalists. All my friends are big liberals, so
wow.
they want to save the environment, so they try to do with something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And did you know anyone that was like plant-based at least in your, on campus or in college?
I did not know a single person.
Oh, wow.
No.
Wow. And it's
But I
awesome. Oh, I'm
didn't
sorry.
have a big friend group, so I
Mm.
mean,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to have these conversations with your friends, and some people won't even have these conversations.
Yeah.
And it's good that you realize, maybe you are planting a little seed in them, and eventually it'll develop to them realizing on themselves. Because it's really just the person has to realize it for themselves. Like
That's
we can tell
true.
someone so much, but it gets to the point where they question their own selves, and
Yeah.
that's when you really start to see
That's where
change.
change comes from when you start to question yourself. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
guess let's see. Oh, sorry. What?
Oh no, I was just yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think people are like, "Oh crap, now I have to do something about this."
Yeah, exactly. And I guess let's see. So with going vegan, did was fitness always a part of your, I guess, life journey, or did this come after veganism or before you went vegan?
So I was into fitness before I went vegan.
Okay.
But I wasn't always into fitness. I actually was very like chubby when I was growing up in school. I don't know. In the South, like we eat a lot of like comfort food. We ate out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Coca-Cola, lots of sweet tea. I mean, we'd go get Mexican like every single week, and like my grandma would always tell me I had to finish my plate or else I wouldn't grow and be healthy. So like I don't know, I grew up with a lot of kind of bad eating habits, and so I gained a lot of weight when I started to hit like middle school and high school. So it wasn't always a part of my life. Maybe I would say when I was 20, I was like fed up. I was so tired of being overweight. My clothes weren't fitting anymore.
Hmm.
I like memorized where all the mirrors were in my house and I wouldn't even look at them.
Oh,
Like
Wow.
I felt so low. I felt horrible about myself. I'd wear baggy clothes so I wouldn't have to like show anything. I felt so insecure, and my relationship suffered because I felt insecure with him. And it was just yeah, I got to a point where I was like I have to do something about this. And I believe I was 20 and I signed up for Planet Fitness and I just started going every day, and I slowly started changing my eating habits, and then I just really fell in love with it. Like I loved the gym and I loved getting better all the time and getting stronger, and now
nice.
it's like the
Nice.
most important part of my life, really.
That's awesome. Seeing there you
Yeah.
go. And I guess that was gonna be my next question is like what made you want to change? And was it just like, I guess, appearance wise, or did you feel yourself getting unhealthier, or where did like real like change stem from?
It was both, but I will say like health wise, like my asthma. So I do have asthma, but during those periods where I was really heavy, it was like the worst it ever was. I actually had to go to the doctor and get a breathing treatment. Like it was embarrassing. Like I was so out of shape, and I would walk around campus like totally out of breath. I'd get to my class, I'd have to like stand outside the class for 5 minutes, like just to get my breath so I didn't go in like huffing and puffing and everybody looking at me. And I just felt like I felt so out of shape and embarrassed, and I just yeah, I mean I was struggling to breathe, and I felt like you know, at the time it was pollen, and like it is
Mm.
seasonal, but like of course, like you guys know, like the animal foods and eating bad foods, it causes inflammation in your body. So any sort of disease that you have, it's going to amplify it. So I still have asthma to this day, but I don't even have to take medication. I don't even really deal with it.
Wow.
You know, except for maybe like at the highest like pollen count of the year, but back then it was horrible. So I would say, yeah, the health wise, I felt horrible. My skin was horrible. I was breaking out everywhere. um and it was just, yeah, it was really bad. And I, of course, appearance, I
Mm.
couldn't even, like look at myself, or couldn't even imagine getting in a bathing suit. So I was just, yeah, I
Mhm.
was fed up.
And these things that lead from that, it's like you wanting to start the gym journey. You started this, and there's people that start the gym, right? And they have a problem with staying consistent. They have a problem with staying motivated. They have these feelings of judgment from everyone. So, what would you say helps you stay motivated? Helps you realize, nobody really cares about me. I came here to just work out. It's really what it is.
Yeah, I say, it's a competition with myself. Like I never compare myself to anyone else. I mean, I'm always trying to better myself, and that's kind of what made me fall in love with the gym and just fitness in general, is because every week I would like set new goals for myself. I do it,
That's
and then
awesome.
it just kind of made me realize like, hey, I can do whatever I put my mind to. Like even if it takes me 3 months to be able to do like 50 push-ups, I can do it if I just stay consistent. And so getting stronger every week and like seeing results, seeing myself change, like feeling better, like it's really insane, like where I was when I started to where I am now.
Mm.
And I mean, like if anyone's consistent enough, like they can do it. And it's like you just have to remind yourself that it's just you, like it's just about you getting better every single day. So that's kind of what I do with my clients, is like I always tell them, make sure that the next week you go in and you lift, like even if it's only 2 pounds more, you lift 2 pounds more than you did last time on your squat. So if you did 100 pounds last week, do 102 pounds this week. It's still strength, you're still making progress. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, that would just be my advice, is to always just like try to work on bettering yourself and just like competing yourself, getting stronger, focus on your performance and like your health and your energy.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I guess going back to, I do want to get into, I guess, how you started coaching. But before we get into that, I want to get into, I guess, your early days of working out, and really about, were there any days where you just didn't feel like working out? And if so, like, how did you overcome those days? And are there fewer of those days now?
Absolutely, all the time. I mean, seriously, there's plenty of times, especially back then when I first started, I would have to go after work, after school, and I was working at a dog daycare. I was on my feet all day. I literally would get like 20,000 steps a day. It was insane, but I still went. I knew. I would say a big thing for me was I always visualized. Like visualization is huge
Mm.
for anyone who has a goal. Like visualize your goal, and I would always just like imagine myself with what I was going to look like, what I was going to wear, like what I was going to do, like just being strong, like walking in the gym, like doing pull-ups. Like I would always just like visualize that no matter what it was, and it just like really motivated me to keep going. And I just always feel better after. So I always tell myself like, hey, I'm gonna feel better after if I go now, and I'm
Mm.
gonna feel like crap if I don't go, and I'm gonna beat myself up over it. So I might as well just go and
Yeah.
get through it.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, it still happens to this day. Like, believe it or not, there's some days I just wake up and I'm just like, especially because now it's actually more frequently now, I would say, because I'm at a point where I lift so heavy that sometimes I'm just like shit, I gotta go squat like 100 pounds today. Like, damn, like I really don't feel like doing that today, but I still go do it. So, um, yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to like get over that mental battle and just know you're gonna feel better and it's gonna pay off.
Wow, yeah, no, that's awesome, honestly. And I guess when you hit on visualization, this leads me to wonder what, I guess what belief system did you have to adapt, or what mindset did you have to adapt in order to even like, pursue this fitness journey? Like, were you watching a documentary? Was there a book that came across your life that made you switch that mindset of like, okay, I need to start visualizing, I need to start, doing this or that?
I would say, I don't know, it's always been very natural to me. Like I always have just been very goal oriented. Like I've always just kind of set a goal for myself and I've done it. I really enjoy like challenging myself. Like I actually failed math in high school and I had to go to summer school, and I ended up minoring in statistics when I was in college just because I wanted to like challenge myself and like show myself I could do it.
Okay.
Um but so I would just say, I don't know, I've been always very goal oriented. I will say now more than ever though, I have, The Secret is a really good book.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I am now more so like researching like kind of self-help ideas and like the actual science behind it, law of attraction, all
Yeah.
of that. It's so real, like positive affirmations. I have my clients do these things. Like they have a morning routine where they do their positive affirmations, they do their gratitude. Um, they do all of these things, goal setting, so that they can kind of adapt the same mindset that's going to help them achieve their goals. So, and also the Success Principles is a really good book
Um,
that is awesome. Yeah.
that's honestly so good that you hit on that, because a lot of people don't realize that you kind of need a foundation before you get into any type of goal setting, whether it's fitness, health, anything really, any
Mhm.
aspect of life, and that's a really important foundation to have. Is you got to change that mindset, limiting beliefs.
Ooh.
You got to get into law of attraction, positive affirmations, gratitude, all this kind of stuff. So I'm so glad that you're
Yes.
hitting on that.
Yes, and these positive affirmations, these anything showing gratitude, it goes a long way. You might not realize it now in the moment, but long term, you'll realize you feel so much better. You project this energy towards everyone that you just wake up with this feeling. And that's so awesome to me that you not only implement that to your life, but onto your client's life because you know how that will make them feel mentally going into this. Because obviously, working out, starting from beginner to getting up to wherever they want to achieve to will be a hard process, but by you giving them these little foundations, these steps to show them, this is how I got here, and I want to give you this foundation to slowly
Mhm.
build up to it. And that's just so awesome to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's really amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's super important. I mean, you think about all these successful people and they do it, so it must work. And sure enough, I mean, like literally the goals that I would write down every day, like 6 months ago, they've come true. Like I used to write, I want my last year, I remember I would write, I want my own online fitness business. I want to be making like 10K a month. I want to be making like, I want like 15 clients. Like I used to write all of these things down every day, and now they're all coming true. And it's just it really is. It just gets you in that mindset of like, and it's not like you're going to write it down and it's going to happen just because you write it down, but it's because you believe it. And then when you do that in the morning, you go about the rest of your day executing it, even if it's subconscious.
Yeah.
Like you're still like going through your day like believing in yourself and executing what you wrote down in the morning.
No, yeah, that's so true. And we're big
Yeah,
believers in
yeah, that's
morning
exactly what I was gonna
routines,
say.
that
Yes.
your morning decides,
Yeah.
because like really people want to find like a purpose for like all of life. You get stressed with like, okay, what am I gonna do for the rest of my life? And we tell people all you gotta
Mhm.
focus on is that one day. Set the intention for that one day, because your days build up your entire life.
Yeah.
So by setting a morning routine and having those intentions for the rest of the day, I mean, we feel it's so important.
So important. We've realized too in our lives, like personally, I like to express gratitude. I like to write these affirmations, meditation in the morning. These things not only build up your person, but like make you feel so much better throughout your day, and you're able to execute so much. And like this leads me into asking this question: mental health. It really is a huge part of your person. And we obviously as people get these doubts feelings, these feelings of we're not able to do so much. And what would you say is like things you did to control that doubt, control this limiting mindset that you have in order to start to break out and really take a life into your own hands?
I would say, I just would have to remind myself that I've survived everything that's ever come my way, and so I can survive anything else that comes my way. And I mean, everyone, like, without getting into any really personal details, every single one of us has some sort of like maybe trauma or maybe some sort of bad situation that we all went through and we survived it, and we did that. We can do that again. And I mean, even if you do have a bad day, like one thing I've always done is I've always started the next day just fresh, like totally new. And I just take that day, like even, you know, even if it's something as simple as like there's been plenty of times where I've screwed up my food and I've eaten a whole pizza to myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. But the next day I start all over and I'm like, okay, this is a new day. This is a new start. I'm gonna hit all my goals today, hit my calories, hit my protein, and get back to it. Even with my business, I mean, there's plenty of times where I feel like, you know, kind of anxious. I'm like, when am I going to get you know, some more content out? Like, when am I going to do this and that? And you know, you just have to like take it, like you guys were saying, one day at a time. You know, like you don't build a house by like just throwing all the bricks together. It's like one brick at a time. So like you know, gotta like kind of lay the foundation and just take it one day at a time. So that's kind of one thing that I do. And I always tell my clients that if they have a bad day, I always tell them, well, tomorrow's a new day. So you didn't hit your goals today. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Take a deep breath. Tomorrow's a new day. So you have the whole 24 hours tomorrow to make it up and start all over. So I just, you know, it's like a whole new opportunity. So I really do believe in that, with starting the next day fresh, leaving that old mindset in the past because it's not going to help you, and just focus on the present.
That's so true. And I guess, okay, you're talking about the coaching business now. So what made you like, what inspired you to start the coaching business? And did it come like later in your fitness journey? Like, did you realize, you know what, I've achieved results for myself. I could replicate these results for a lot of other people. So like, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, it was just what I was passionate about. I loved it. And, you know, people always say, like, do what you're passionate about and you'll never work a day in your life. But I first started out, so I'd been working out for about 2.5 years. I had achieved some pretty good results, like nowhere close to even where I am now, but I still looked good. And I applied for an in-person training position at a gym, and it was okay. It was a lot of hours. I learned a lot, but it was like not much money. And it was like, I don't know, it was, I had to follow their rules,
Mm.
and I didn't agree with a lot of the things that they did. Like, you couldn't eat fruit, um, which was like crazy to me because fruit is like full of nutrients and vitamins. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, so it like literally drove me crazy. I'm like, how can I tell someone not to eat fruit? Like, anyways, but it was lots of stuff like that. I don't know, it was just, it was really, they did a lot of stuff that I didn't believe in there. And so I don't know, I had a really bad experience. I ended up hurting my back, and I left after just like, it just wasn't what I believed in. And I had a lot of problems with being vegan there. Like, I felt like I was always kind of being pushed to not be vegan because they always wanted me to kind of have this certain image. And so I didn't really feel accepted, like being a vegan. Anyways, I left. It kind of crushed me for a while, like my dreams. I just felt like, well, this is what it's going to be like to be in the fitness industry as a vegan. So screw it. I went to work for a bank for a while, and then I couldn't even stand that. It was horrible. I just don't belong in that kind of job, like behind a desk all day. But so yeah, I just ended up taking like the jump, and I was like, I'm going to start coaching part-time. People asked me for help all the time. So I just felt like, okay, this is something that people think I'm good at and that I could help people with. Like, I know I could transform someone. So I'm going to do this. And it just ended up like taking off way more than I ever thought it would. Like, I am still blown away like at how much my business has grown. Like, it still shocks me to this day. And I quit my job, and now I do it full time,
Wow.
and I love it. And the great thing is now, since I'm online, I can like niche down to only vegan women. And I love that, because training at a gym, I just had to take whoever was in my city,
Yeah.
you know, whoever came in. But here, like now, I only work with plant-based, vegetarian, or vegan women, because that's just what I specialize in. And I'm never going to make a meal plan with an animal in it. So yeah, I mean, so it actually, it works out perfect, and I get to play by my own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Lots of
awesome
fruit.
that you're the ability to do it online, but like not only being able to like vegan women and vegetarian women, but have you ever had a contact with like say a carnivore lady or something, a woman that wanted to come to you and ask, okay, what if I try this? I want to try it out. Like, has anyone come to you with vegan advice, like wanting to transition into that?
Oh my gosh, yes. About half of my clients were not vegan before my program.
She's
Wow,
converted
yeah, she's
many.
converted lots
Wow,
of
that's
them.
Yes.
awesome.
And it like literally gives me chills when I think about it because I once like at the gym that I worked at, they once said to me, "So what, you're vegan. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares that you're vegan. Like you're not going to save anyone or anything because you're vegan."
Oh, no.
And
What?
they told me that and they're like, "Animals are still dying, the planet is still dying. So why not just eat meat because you're not helping anyone, you're not doing anything."
Mm,
And now I'm like, actually, I am like making a huge difference. So I'm literally helping people take control of their health and helping the planet and like giving the middle finger to big pharma and the government.
good, good.
As it should.
This mindset
So
that we as people, like, who am I to say that, oh, I'm gonna finish eating meat? They're still gonna continue to eat meat. But the thing is, these moments of activism start off one person. One person can make a huge change.
Yeah.
One person can start a ripple effect for so many, like you've done. Like we see that. And that's the thing. That's why when people say that, who cares? They're still gonna continue to. But the thing is, we're working towards limiting that. And that's really what it is. Movements start by us banding together and realizing and spreading the word and informing people. And that's what people need to realize. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm so insignificant, I can't make a change, but
Yeah.
you're not that insignificant. You have so much power within you to change so much.
Yeah.
And that's all right.
And that's really what our message is, really, to give people that you're not insignificant. And like, you're a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
Literally, your story is you're changing lives. You're not even that, like a mindset, health wise. And that's great that you're literally doing that and like pretty close to us too in Georgia.
Exactly. And that's awesome.
yeah. And literally, even if you're not like, even if you don't have a following, like even it doesn't even matter if you don't even get on social media. Like you never know. Like maybe your cousin would switch. Like maybe you're like my mom. Like my mom isn't vegan, but she doesn't eat pork or beef anymore. Like I think that's a pretty big win. Like I mean, would I like her to be vegan? Sure, but I think it's great that like any sort of reduction in animal products is benefiting animals and the environment. So I'm all for it. I think anyone anywhere is making some sort of positive change.
Yeah, and I do believe in that too, because I mean, there's a lot of, I guess, I mean, I understand where their extremities come from, but there's a lot of people that they don't realize that we need like lots of like if a lot of people make a little change, it's a lot better than only a few people making like a big change, if that makes any sense. When it comes to reducing that meat intake, because I mean that's how change started for me, at least, is I reduced things one at a time before I eventually became vegan. And so that's kind of the message that we need to spread, is that every step matters. Progress does matter into getting it eventually to where you want to be. And I guess, I mean, that's literally a big part of your business too, right? And teaching people how to take that first step, that next step, and so on and so forth.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and this could lead to a question. Basically, many people say that they're not ready to do this. They can't do this until I have this, or I can't do this until I have that. And like, what would you say to these people that need to realize that like whenever like I'm sorry, these people can't say that they're just not ready. They say that they're not ready. And what would you say to them? Like, when is a perfect time to be ready?
There is no perfect time. You'll never be ready
Yeah.
because you're human and you're always going to have fear and you're always going to have worries and doubts. Like you're human. You're never going to be ready. If I had waited till I was ready to felt ready to start my business, I would still be working a crappy 9 to 5 job at a boring bank, wasting all of my talents away, making half or no, a third of the money that I do now. If I had waited till I was ready, like to go vegan, I probably never would have gone vegan. I didn't like sit and watch a documentary because I was ready to go vegan. I was just like stumbled upon this like interesting documentary and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this and just see what happens.
Wow.
So, I would say like you have to take action because you have to think about like your future self. who you want to be in a year from now. That person's not waiting. So you can't wait either. So you have to take action. And even I mean, right now, like what is stopping you? I mean, literally, I watched What the Health, and I started like that night. I was like looking up plant-based recipes, and I'm like, tomorrow I'm vegan. Like,
Wow, see.
that's it. So I would say you just got to take the jump. Like, you got to put yourself out there. I think the biggest thing is people fear failure, but like failure is a process to success. Like,
Yes.
every step of the way, like every failure that you make, you learn something from, and then you get better. So like, you can't fear failure. Like, it has to be your friend, because you have to just fail and then say, okay, that didn't work, but now I'm going to try this. I mean, that's like being an entrepreneur. Like, I do that all the time. I'm like, let me try this. Okay, that got me 0 clients. That doesn't work. Now I know that. Now I know not to waste money on that. So like, you know, you have to like embrace failure and just see it as a learning opportunity. And when you think about the most successful people in the world, like, they've failed before. I mean, all of them have.
Definitely.
So
failure has to be a part of the process, and
Yeah,
that's something
exactly.
you know, we're obviously big on that too, you know, is that, yeah, people let failure stop them, but like you said, make it your friend. And that's a good way to put it. You really need to embrace that. You need to
Yes.
expect that, because that's the only way we feel growth can happen, is by learning from those failures. And if you're always going to let failure stop you, I mean, you're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to ever get to live the life that you want to live and make a change from
Exactly. And
that.
that's why failure, it really is a part of the success story. When you realize you can watch movies, these are examples. Your life is a movie. You went through traumatic moments, you came up, and now you're doing something to be this better person you are. And this is what I say, you know, achieving and overcoming that, not only with every little aspect in your life. And that's just so awesome that anyone can do this, but it's up to the person to realize it.
yeah, they have to take action.
Yeah, it's that simple. It's just take that leap of faith, really.
Action.
And like, even for us, I mean, starting this podcast, you know, we
Yeah.
were big on action behind words. You know,
Action-
'cause you
that
can
was
say a
heavy
lot,
on that.
you can read all these motivational books, you can, you know, watch all these motivational videos, but it isn't until you actually put that action into play that it stuff starts to happen, you know, and almost instantly too. I mean, you start to see results, you start to see progress taking place just because of a simple, you know what, I'm going to do this. And
Yeah, and that's really what I start to see in people. They let the fear of not knowing if it will succeed push them away from starting anything, becoming anything, because they're simply afraid. And they like to think a lot, say a lot, but they prefer not to do a lot. And that's really what I would say separates people like the average from the above average, taking that action whether you know it's going to succeed or not.
Yeah. It's like that one meme. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like the 2 guys and they're mining, and the one guy, he's about to break the rock and hit the gold, but he gives up and he walks away because it's taking too long. And then the other guy keeps going and he hits the gold. Like, it's just about that. Like, being consistent, like, it will pay off. Like, eventually you're going to figure it out and you're going to get there and you're going to hit the gold. So
oh yeah, I have seen that one, and that's a really good one right there. And I wish people just knew to take it one step at a time, because people want to see the whole staircase. They want to see how the way things will end, and it's just like, sadly, life is not like that. I mean, there's a reason why it's a journey, you know, and it's, you got to take one step at a time, and life just has a way of making things work for you, where it's like, okay, you're putting in that work, okay, bet here's the next step. And it's like, okay, you did this. Okay, here's the next obstacle. And it's really up to us to overcome these obstacles, to learn new things, to take that next step that eventually gets us to where we want to be.
right. Yeah. I totally agree. I live by that.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, and I can see also, like, on your Instagram, like, you're very consistent, and I love the layout. I mean, that's appealing to anyone who wants to get into the fitness journey. So yeah, where'd you learn all this, by the way? Or was it just one step at a time with you too?
Like, in my layout or just everything?
Yeah, basically the way you present yourself, the way you market your business.
Well, I did hire a business coach, and he kind of helped me figure out like a more aesthetically pleasing way to kind of create my Instagram. But a lot of my content, I just try to think about like what my client, like what my like person out there is struggling with. And I try to think about like, what can I post that would benefit them? Like, what would they value, or just anybody really. Like I think about like, okay, like somebody just went vegan today, let's say, and what do they need help with? And then I mean, I can think of like so many things. So I post a lot of things about protein. I post a lot of things about, all kinds of like vegan meal ideas and all kinds of stuff like that. Maybe tips for working out, because I try to think about, like, if I wasn't me with all my knowledge and I knew nothing, like what would I need help with? So
Way to
that's
look at
kind
it.
of, yeah, kind of what I just like try to keep in mind, because I know, like, I mean, that's just ultimately more valuable. Like I want to actually help people and not just like post like
Mm-hmm.
pictures of me like on the beach living life, like doing my thing.
Yeah.
I could do that, but it's not going to help anybody. It's not going to make a difference, and it's not going to give me any sort of purpose in life. It's just kind of empty,
Yeah.
likes and shares and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I don't know, I really just think about like what people are going through. And of course, like I do love being this like vegan strong woman that can like show everybody like, hey, like you can definitely be badass as fuck and like strong and have muscles on a vegan diet.
Yes.
I mean, that's like super important to me too. So of course, like, I mean, that's part of it too. But
Oh yeah. No, yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Honestly, like I see that too, because there are pages out there that just do it for the shares and the likes, and they just want to see their lifestyle. But I can tell, like, I'm pretty sure this stuff is time consuming, and you have to like layer it out, and you want to like, okay, what do people need to know right now? What like I like that mentality. Is like you put yourself in their shoes, and you post accordingly.
Yeah.
And how do you manage your time, by the way? Is this like, does this keep you like really busy? Is it kind of stressful at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job for sure. Like, I try to do most of my personal stuff in the morning, so I get my workout out of the way, and it just kind of starts my day off right. Do my meditation, do my journaling, and my goal setting really early in the morning, and then the rest of the day, I make time for content. I make time for replying to people who message me. A lot of people message me and ask me for help, so I'll DM them and try to give them like a few tips or maybe a free resource, or something like that. And of course, calls for my clients, working on programs. So, it's just kind of depends. Every day is different. Sometimes I have more calls than others, but generally I just try to kind of like block off some time for each thing that I have to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just kind
Time
of,
management definitely is like something really important that we also like to we have to have structured. But also
Yeah.
that makes me like realize something, like for you as a person, like you like to have like things that you do in the morning. Like what made you have the structure in the morning? Like what, like with your clients, like for example, like do you make them come up with a certain morning routine, like they need to have this or that, or would you like it to tell them and personalize it? What do you enjoy to do first? Like maybe these you should put at this time. Like how do you structure yours, and what do you tell others to structure theirs?
so I tell them to structure theirs exactly how I structure mine. So I do usually 5 things that I'm grateful for. And it can be anything from like the sun shining to fresh air to my dog, like literally anything. Like I've written my car, like literally all kinds of things. So 5 things that you're grateful for. I once read a statistic that you can't be angry and grateful at the same time.
That's true.
So,
Wow.
Yes.
yes. So, like practicing gratitude, it instantly, like in your brain, like helps you get into a more positive state and appreciate things and kind of like put things in perspective, like what's actually a big deal and what's actually not.
Mhm.
So, even things like we had a storm, huge storm yesterday. Our power was out for 24 hours. So, like the power, I am really grateful for electricity
Wow.
when I really wasn't before. And now I'm like, oh my God, like it's
No,
really so important. So, gratitude is huge. Goal setting. So, I usually write down my 3 goals for the day. So, it could be like, I don't know, posting something of value on my story for people, for my followers, or it could be like hitting my protein goal, maybe like, I don't know, go like 10 pounds heavier on my deadlift than I did last week. I don't know, like all kinds of stuff I'll just come up with. But I usually try to set 3 goals for the day, And then I do the positive affirmations, which is just like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am at peace, I don't know. And then it can also be like goals like, I'm a successful business owner. I am like getting super happy clients. I am getting great transformations, like all kinds of stuff. So, generally for my clients, they would do like, I'm losing 10 pounds a month, or I am seeing muscle definition or something. And it kind of speaks things into existence, and it helps them stay more focused and stay more positive. So I think that, I mean, like literally, I think that's like one of the best morning routines in my opinion.
I do believe in that too, honestly, because it's cool how you're doing this too. Like this whole, I guess, paradigm shift in your clients, because this in turn helps you help them in like more. It's like a self-feeding cycle, really. And it's awesome because you're basically eliminating excuses, really, because your morning routine allows you to take time for yourself and to goal set and just really believe in yourself for the rest of the day. Because some people might have the excuse of like, oh well, I work for the rest of the day, I have this to take care of for the rest of the day. It's like, okay, well, let's rewind it an hour or two to give you enough time to fit that morning routine, and then you can start the rest of your day. So
Yes.
yeah,
So important. So important.
yeah, exactly. And let's see. I think we're
Like, I was gonna ask you this one
Yeah.
question: is coming up from your journey, obviously the beginning to where you are now, what are things that you had to let go, or people that you had to let go in order to be who you are today?
Oh boy. A lot. Oh my gosh. I mean, I mean,
That's what it is.
I was in a 4-year relationship that, if I had not left, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Oh, wow.
He was controlling, he held me back a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He got very insecure when I first started going to the gym. Actually, 6 months later, after I started going to the gym, I left him. Um, so I would say that relationship, I mean, he was controlling. I mean, he didn't believe in me. I mean, he said a lot of negative things about me, and it was gonna, I mean, it held me back. So that relationship definitely, bye, like wouldn't have been. And like looking back, like it was hard then because I was like, am I doing the right thing? Whatever. I mean, it was in the moment, but now I look back and I'm like, girl, like what the hell were you thinking? And like, so I feel like, if somebody's treating you that way, like they're controlling you, they're like stalking your phone, stalking your Instagram, blowing you up, they're extremely jealous and insecure, like they don't really love you in like a true love. Like true love, they want to see you do the best that you can.
Yes. So important. There's something
Yeah.
that I realized too is, obviously I'm pretty sure that was a huge part of your life. 4 years is really a long time for anyone, and willing to realize, okay, this is maybe not it anymore, and I'm coming to a new phase in my life, and really letting go of that. Like that's so tough for many, because I feel like people tend to be comfortable, and they like, oh, I'm here with this person, I've been with this person for a while, but I'm comfortable here, and they're afraid to let go. So like, are those like things that you realize and you're like, okay, what was the final stance? Like, I'm done? Or like, were there like things that you needed to do before? Because obviously there's people that struggle continuously with letting go.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled forever. It literally was probably like in all, like a 3-4 month process of me trying to figure out how I was going to do it. But I kind of knew I was already out of it. Like my heart just wasn't in it. And I was so depressed all the time. And it just like, it was requiring more energy to make the relationship work. And I wasn't getting like anything beneficial out of it. Like we were constantly just trying to like make it work, and it's like, you shouldn't have to work that hard.
It should just work, right? It really should just work. That's really
Yeah,
what it
it's
is.
really
Yeah.
like a chemistry. And I guess, 70 to 80% of our audience
It's
are
female.
females,
Yeah,
So
female.
this can resonate with a lot of them. And I mean, it even resonated with me in a bit, is that there needs to be energy, right? There needs to be, communication, there needs to be constant support, and I guess these are the foundations for anyone in a relationship. What other advice would you give relationship wise in order for, our female audience listening to be the best version of themselves? What do you think there needs to be there?
It's good.
He needs to, or she, your partner needs to support you 100%. You know, like if you're like, hey babe, like I want to start this business, I'm kind of scared, it's risky, but I really want to do this, I believe in myself, they should support you. They should be like, all right, I got your back, you know. um I'll take care of you, and you know, maybe not financially, but just like I'll be here for you, I'll listen to you, I'll have your back. Like if you need anything, I'm here to talk to you, you go for it, like you follow your dreams. Like they should always be encouraging you to be the best that you can be. Like they should be totally supportive, you know.
Mm,
Like, so I would say that they should respect you. Don't, if anyone ever calls you names or curses at you, that's not respect. Like they don't respect you, and that's not a mature relationship, and you
Mhm.
don't need that.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially if that's one of the early signs. And what else are some toxic like traits that you would tell people to watch out for in terms of, you know, relationship?
I would say like extreme insecurities, like they should trust you. You know, if you are doing the right things and you are faithful, like they should trust you enough to, you know, let you have your space. They shouldn't be having to go through your DMs, you know, like go through your Facebook, go through your likes and freak out. I mean, that's just too much. I mean, they should respect you enough to know that, you know what's right and what's wrong, and that they trust you. So, I mean, that's definitely a toxic trait for sure. Name calling, disrespect. I mean, none of that. Like,
Yeah, no, I definitely see that because some people like to excuse all that behavior and just say, oh, you know, there's always going to be those fights and there's always going to be that. And they just become numb to it. And sadly, it's like it's just this toxic cycle that unfortunately a lot of people, both guys and girls, put themselves in. And
Mhm.
breaking out of that cycle is so important because, I mean, like you said, you probably wouldn't be here right now if you hadn't let go of a toxic relationship, something bad
That's
like
so
that.
true.
and
And
I
Yeah.
so,
never would have gone vegan. That's for damn sure. He never would have been okay with that. So, yeah, I mean, but like, that's another thing is like everything happens for a reason. So, like, at that time, I was like, my whole world is like falling apart. Like, oh my gosh, like, this was 4 years of my life that I just wasted. But actually, no, like, it taught me so much. And I will never, ever end up with that type of man again,
oh,
because
that's awesome. See,
I learned so much from it, and it made me a better person because I learned from his toxic traits what that feels like. So now I won't ever do that to someone else, you know. So
oh, wow, that's
you learn so much from it, and it's like I had to go through that. It happened for me. Like I'm a big believer in like things don't happen to us, they happen for us because they make you into who you are. So like that relationship and even all the toxicity, it made me into who I am today. And so to me, 4 years worth it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome that you say that because that's actually good. That was going to be one of my questions is, do you believe that things happen for a reason, that everything happens for a reason? And I'm a big believer that it does. I mean, we wouldn't have any character development if we didn't have like these ups and downs in life. And that's really part of the journey. That's part of the process into becoming the best version of ourselves. And yeah, no, really.
yeah, that's really what it is. Something that is gym related, for this is for really the female demographic that we really resonate in for some reason.
For some reason.
But yes, we do. And it's like the stigma of females not like lifting upper body, like really seeing that it's only cardio or only leg
Oh
day
my
and
gosh, that's so
realizing like
true.
why, like, you know, that's, it really is a stigma. And I'm pretty sure you're vocal about this. So what would you have to say to these females?
Ladies, work your upper body, please. Please don't make that mistake. Like, I believe me, I've been there. When I first started, my first 6 months in the gym, leg day every day, lots of cardio. I didn't want to look like a man. I didn't want big arms. Like, but it's not gonna happen. Like the women that you see that look like that, like they're on performance enhancement drugs, they're on steroids. Like they've been competing, they're competitive bodybuilders, and they've been doing it for a long time. You're not going to go to the gym, hit biceps one day, and then wake up the next morning like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like it doesn't happen. Like it's not going to happen. Otherwise we would all be jacked.
Yeah.
Like believe me, some of us wish that could happen, but it doesn't. So like especially with women, upper body, it's something that you have to put in so much time and consistency and effort in. So like even after like 3 years of training, like you probably would not have a ripped, jacked upper body. It's just not gonna happen. Like
Yeah, no, that's good that you hit on that really, and I see that you're vocal about that on your page as well. But like,
yeah.
I guess what was I gonna say? It was something about the upper body. What other stigmas do you have to like to break when it comes to the gym life, when it comes to the fitness life? What stigmas do you feel like just need to be broken? Like, what's something that you like that you have to go through when it comes to talking to your clients about these things?
That's a good one.
Definitely that you can't build muscle on a vegan diet. Like that's one of
Huge.
the biggest ones.
Yeah.
I actually have more muscle than I ever have on a vegan diet because I feel like my nutrition is so much better that like I use all of my food to like better my body composition and perform better than when I was eating meat. Like I look literally the best I've ever looked. I have the most muscle I ever have, and I'm vegan.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you definitely can do it. It's not, now, don't get me wrong, it's not like mindless, but neither is getting fit on a carnivore diet. Like, you still have to make sure that you have all the right foods, like whole grains, rice, vegetables and fruits. Like, you want a lot of like good, healthy foods. You can't just like mindlessly eat and get enough protein. So, it does take structure and it does take planning, but it's absolutely doable. I get 140 grams of protein, vegan protein, easy every day. So,
Yep, that is awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But
guess, yeah, I guess it's time to wrap up
Yeah.
here. Let's see, any last questions that we should ask?
Last questions. Do you have any last questions?
Well, we definitely want to plug you in at
Yeah,
the end of this
definitely,
podcast
definitely.
to see, people that are interested in what you do, your page. So would you go ahead?
You can go ahead and plug all that in.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm totally down. I really enjoyed this. Like, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, anytime. In fact, we do plan on having you on here again. Maybe soon we'll check up on you. And
Yes.
no, I can
Yeah.
really your follower count. I mean, it's been growing, and I see it continuing to grow. I mean, in fact, you know what? By the end of the year, I do believe you could easily have a minimum of 50K. And I'm putting that out there right now. Just to put oh, bro.
Put this
Like,
balloon
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like literally my goal was for January to hit 10K, and it is growing really fast. Like
I
I'm
noticed.
That's
it's
awesome.
insane, but I'm just so happy. I am so like grateful, and I really want everyone to know like how much I appreciate their support. Like it means the world to me, and I'm just so glad that I can represent like a veganism in this light and inspire people. Like I'm just like truly blessed.
Yes, that's so awesome. And we really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us and really have a conversation, not only for us, but to educate all of the many that will listen to this because you have an interesting story and maybe you're able to change the many that will listen to this.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So yes, and what's your Instagram page for the listeners right now?
Yes. Where can they check you out?
It's Miss_Meatless_muscle, and it's MISS. So
All right.
Miss.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah, it is.
I know. I need to trademark that one.
Trademark
Do
it,
it, yeah.
seriously.
For real.
But yeah, that's really what it is. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this.